I'm your host, Sarah Baus, and welcome to Attainable Podcast. Hi, guys, and welcome to the Attainable Podcast. I hope you're doing well. I'm so glad you're here. For those of you who are watching on video, as you can see, we're kind of in under construction as far as the video setup. I'll be honest, after recording in New York in like the beautiful studio, I felt like, oh my God, how can I make this in my home? So we're testing some things. Got a new camera. We're testing it right now. We'll see if it works. I'm recording on both my camera, and then I also have my iPhone as a like extended camera for the computer. It's like a whole thing, and I'm blazing hot because I've got two lights on me. I'm trying to make this a beautiful production for you guys. Honestly, it's very exciting. I think it's going to be really, really cool. But if you're watching, let me know what you think about the quality. Especially like go on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, we have the comment section. Let me know what you think. But how are you guys? I hope you're doing so well. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I was able to take off Friday, which is great at the time that you're listening to this. And if you're listening to this on the Monday that's released, then happy Easter to those who celebrate. I actually had a question about that because I was thinking, is it offensive to say happy Easter to somebody who doesn't celebrate? But then I was thinking, I've had friends say, happy Ramadan, happy Passover to me. And I feel as though that is like, I'm not offended by that, or I feel it's more of an extension of their like something that's important to them. But then I was thinking, like, I was talking to one of my friends who's Jewish, and if I were to say happy Easter to them, I feel like that would be so awkward. Do you know what I mean? But what is the consensus about like saying happy whatever holiday it may be, Merry Christmas, like whatever, to somebody who doesn't celebrate? Personally, like, if somebody says it to me, I think that, and I think this is open, up for discussion. I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong way, but like I really appreciate when somebody does that to me because I know that holiday is important to them, and to extend that like kind words to me, I just think it is an extension of kindness from them. But I don't know, you never know if it's also taken that way. I just feel like saying happy Easter to somebody who is like hearing it come to me, I'm like, that feels weird. Or I mean, that feels fine. Like I feel totally fine. But actually saying it, like if I were to say like happy Easter to somebody who doesn't celebrate Easter, it feels very awkward. So then I'm left with not being really sure what to do, which is totally fine. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that serious. But anyways, if you do celebrate Easter, Passover, all the things, I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. I think pretty much, most of us are getting the warmer weather for spring. Although I will say in Charleston, I might talk about the weather right now. Whatever. Anyway, it's been a constant right now because for whatever reason, Charleston decided to dip back into winter, and we're in like the 50s, which is heinous. Absolutely heinous. I'm so not into it. We were like 85 degrees sweating 2 days ago. I hate it. But anyways, just a little thought that I had in my mind that I wanted to share with you. But today, obviously, is a solo episode, and we're going to be going over some grocery rules. I posted a TikTok about this, and I got some awesome responses in the comments, and I'll tell you about a funny one. But basically, if you are not aware, I am the grocery budgeting. I don't even want to say queen because I think it's more of an illness than anything. I have a hard obsession with making my groceries as cheap as possible. So that means we aim for under $75 every 2 weeks. And I'll be honest, with our travel schedule, we genuinely only do that one grocery shop a month. So sometimes it's under $75 a month. But from a typical, like if we are here for every day of the month, we aim for $75 for every 2 weeks, under $50 per month for our groceries. And we did bring meat back in from last year. Some of you are aware that we are vegetarian in the home for many, many months. We did like meatless March, and then we just kind of kept doing it. But we brought meat back in the last couple months, chicken, and then I did buy shrimp. Um, we only did meatless March for like, I think we watched a documentary or something. I don't remember what the motivation was of doing meatless March. Um, but it just we found honestly, we got kind of addicted to how cheap it was to be vegetarian, but of course that comes with other things. We definitely, I mean, in general, I do not get enough protein in. As a household, we were like, okay, we could definitely use some more protein. Let's bring some chicken back in. And then I think at one point I made like one recipe with chicken thighs, and we are like, oh my God, this is so good. So now we have a chicken thigh, like we're on a chicken thigh kick. But I this is the first time that I sent Joseph to actually go grocery shopping because two reasons. Obviously, when I go grocery shopping is now kind of a piece of content for me. Like it's a content opportunity. I love to share my grocery shopping with you guys, especially on TikTok. And so really almost exclusively on TikTok. And so to like have him go grocery shopping, I'm completely missing a content opportunity. But I also, I want to control it a little bit. I know that if I go, I will spend less money because I know my grocery rules. But I was very stressed. I needed to get a bunch of stuff done. He took the last 2 days off of this week. So Thursday I was working, he was not. It just made sense for him to go and not me. But I was a little nervy, I'm not gonna lie. So I was like, I gave him the list that you guys see me do. I did the same list for him. P.S. We are launching the first grocery list. Like, if you want the grocery list that I make, you want to like the meal plans with the grocery list included, all organized, all done with the links to the recipes. If you want them, we are going to be launching them this week that you're listening to this. So please keep an eye out on the socials. I'll be very vocal about it. But I gave him the same list that I always do. And then I was like going through, he was like, okay, is this everything that we need? I was like, no, we have to shop. You have to shop the pantry first, whatever. And then he was like, okay, what about this? And so I was running through the rules. He was like, what do I get where? Because I did make him go to 2 stores. We are a 2-store shopping household. It is what it is. And so I was like, this is what you get at this store, whatever. And so we went through and I just realized how many rules I have for grocery shopping, made a video about it. People added their rules, and so we're going to share them here. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rules of grocery shopping that we're going to elaborate on. I'm going to explain. And then we also have some bonus rules as well. And I think it'll end up being more than 8 for me, just from us chit-chatting. But if that sounds interesting, just keep listening. So first of all, as far as this is already going to be an extra rule, I am a 2-store shopping girl, and that is a major reason why we can save so much money. We strategically first shop at Aldi, and then we go to Food Lion. Food Lion is our like local, like general. I would say Aldi is like somewhat more specialty. Not that they don't like their specialty, and that they have specialty things only, but it's smaller. It's a little bit more of a niche store. Food Lion is like, any other grocery store. But so Food Lion is like our, regular grocery store. We start at Aldi because Aldi is generally cheaper for most things. If you are not a 2-store shopper and you're wanting to save money, I do highly recommend you do that. Just find the cheapest one, you start there, get what you can, and then you move to the next tier. I do not shop at Harris Teeter, and this is for regular grocery shopping. And I'm if you watch the video, then like we did go to Harris Teeter for this time, and you'll figure out why. But for our general grocery shopping, I do not shop at Harris Teeter. I do not shop at Publix. Certainly not shopping at Whole Foods. That's not even in the question. And then I also don't shop at Walmart. I will only go to Walmart for toiletries, maybe, because the quality of their food is so poor that I end up losing money from how fast it spoils. It's literally like the next day. And so Don't shop at Walmart. Our routine is Aldi and Food Lion. Now, this particular time, when I was going through, we had one item that we had to go to Harris Teeter for. It would have made a 3-store trip. I didn't make him do that. I let him just go to Food Lion, and then he went anything he didn't get at Food Lion, he could get at Harris Teeter, which was only a couple things because Harris Teeter is the only store around us that has the protein plus Barilla pasta, and we needed that for 2 recipes. Anyway, but that's a major tip. Like, do the 2-store shopping. If you're shopping once every 2 weeks, like, I think you're gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. Depending on where you live. Ours are pretty close by, so it's literally we kind of make a circle. You hit Aldi, or rather a triangle. You hit Aldi, you hit Food Lion, you come back to our house. So when you're shopping, rule of mine, when you're at Aldi, no produce at Aldi. And really, this honestly, we'll just say no vegetables at Aldi. If we're buying fruit, if we're buying strawberries, we're buying blueberries, we're buying bananas, that's totally fine to get at Aldi because those fruits you usually are not buying in, like, you're buying them in a package anyway. There's not, grocery stores that sell strawberries just in a container and you could grab however many you want. They always come in some sort of carton or pack. However, vegetables, on the other hand, like say, onions, or like if we need a carrot or something like that, a lot of times Aldi only sells them in the giant packs. And I just realized, like, this is another thing, like, as eliminating food waste is a big way to avoid spending too much money, and buying these packs of like bulk things. I was like, I only need, 1 onion. I only need 2 onions. Why am I going to buy 5? This works especially for a lot of people had some disagreements about that in the comments. They were like, no, like, definitely buy bulk. You can always, like, they don't really go bad, and onions don't go bad like very fast. But you got to understand, we're 2 people and we're traveling. Like, we travel quite a bit. And so we, like, yeah, for a family of 4, sure, a pack of onions probably will go by, like, you'll go through them fast enough. That's totally fine. We literally can't. So to buy a pack is just wasteful. And if you aren't, and here's the thing about buying like packs when you don't actually like, or buying like a bag, like, again, we'll use the onions. Here's the thing about buying a bag of like 8 to 10 onions when you only need 2. I think there's 2 things. Yes, absolutely, you can freeze it, and if you go through the onions, like, fast, like, maybe you won't need them for the next grocery stop. Like, I totally understand that. But I'm like, if you only need 2, why, and you're gonna be back in 2 weeks, like, why would you get it? You know what I mean? And also, I think it kind of perpetuates like this thought process of like, if you can get it in a pack, you should. And I don't think that's always the case. In fact, I think that's a hole that we constantly fall in. And this leads to actually another rule, like, just because it's buy one get one half off does not mean that you actually need the other one, or if it's BOGO or like what I mean, well, if it's buy one get one free, then I don't really, and you're going to use it, then I don't really see a problem with it. You know what I mean? If it's free. But if it's, 2 for 5 or whatever, and you only need 1, I think Joseph tends to fall into this trap a little bit. Like, he's like, "Oh, they were 2 for 5." I'm like, "Yes, but we would have only paid $2.50 if we only had gotten 1 and we only needed 1," type of thing. Like, just because you can get more does not mean you should get more. That's a big theme in my grocery tips. It's just, it ends up like, I don't, if I don't, here's the thing. People are like, "Oh, but you're gonna use it, you're gonna use it." And sure, I guess, like, some things I for sure. And your family, your household best. You know what those items are, that it totally makes sense if they're on sale to grab a bunch of them. I'm trying to think of like if what in our house, like, would that make sense to do? And I genuinely can't think of anything besides like Mio's, and that's only because I just bought a pack of friggin' 8. But like, from Amazon. Anyway, but I get that, but I don't plan enough to know that I'm gonna use it the next time. Like, I'm not making my next meal plan of the next 5 meals or whatever until I have to go grocery shopping again. So I just I guess it could come down to an organization level. Like a lot of people think that, oh my gosh, this, is so much effort. She's so organized. I don't have time for the meal plans. This is the only piece of effort I put in. I put this effort in so I don't have to put effort in somewhere else. You know what I mean? I'm not going to put the effort in to figure out like how I'm going to use the extra groceries. Instead, I'm just not going to get the extra groceries and then I'll get what I need the next time. You know what I mean? Am I making sense? So yes. Anyway, this started as at Aldi, they pretty much have only like packs or bags or like multiple, you know, of vegetables in like some sort of container or something. If I'm going to get a bell pepper, they only have a pack of 3, that type of thing. So we don't really buy vegetables from Aldi. We keep the vegetables at Food Lion. Our Food Lion has great produce. So does our Aldi. Honestly, it's not a quality thing. It's just Aldi like has them like a lot of them. Second, with that, this is totally going to be more than 8 rules because I'm just adding kind of on to the same general topic. I really, really avoid um, buying the any vegetables or fruit for that matter. Like whatever I can get outside of a package, I'm going to get outside of a package. If peppers is actually a great example because a lot of times they will come in like some sort of pack of 3 or something like that, and it's if you compare how or like a bag of cucumbers, like it's just so unnecessary because you end up paying for the plastic, you're paying for the convenience, and I hate doing that. I hate doing that. I would much rather, just go grab the 3 bell peppers I need, go grab the 4 cucumbers I need, or like whatever I need, instead of getting the bag because you end up paying more. And I hate that. I think that's so stupid that just because one, it's bad for the environment, like you're wrapping it in plastic and then you're charging more for the convenience of what holding it. I don't even know. It's so annoying to me, obviously. Next, this is personal for us. We always get our cheese from Food Lion. I thought that for us, the Aldi cheese tends to, even the, like I'm talking the generic brand, always generic. There's very little that we don't get generic. But the Aldi generic cheese, it tends to be a little bit more expensive than the Food Lion cheese. So check your dairy. Check where you're getting your dairy, where it tends to um be more expensive. I know a lot of people are very adamant about sour cream. They're like, I will get generic everything except for sour cream. I totally understand that. Dalpa Daisy, I totally get it. I don't notice a difference, and I am a sour cream girl. But if that's you, go off. That technically that's rule number 2, but I think we're on like rule number 4. Like, let's be honest, cheese always generic from Food Lion. Numbers are going to be useless now. We use chicken thighs wherever possible. When you are doing a chicken recipe, I highly recommend using chicken thighs. They're cheaper. We really like the taste a lot better than chicken breast. Also, personally, as somebody who is kind of newer to cooking chicken, they're a lot less intimidating, and I find a lot easier to cook than a chicken breast. But they're also we love them. We think they taste a lot better, and they are cheaper. We do. I will say chicken is something that we try and buy, like we'll buy a bigger pack and split it. Of course, we're 2 people, so that doesn't end up taking that much, but we'll buy like 2 pounds, 3 pounds, whatever. And then I will bring it home and then freeze it in sections. That I can see mainly because we're going to freeze the chicken anyway. Any chicken pretty much all goes straight into the freezer, and then unless I'm going to make it either the day of that I'm going grocery shopping or the day after, otherwise it goes to the freezer and then we just take it out and pray that I do remember to take out in the morning if I need to cook with it. Next, shop your house first. I was amazed at how many people did not realize how helpful it is to shop your house. And there's actually 2 ways to do this. I really appreciated the comment section because there's 2 ways that people explain doing this. The way that I do it is I'll make the entire grocery list with every ingredient that we will need. When I make it, I'll tell you exactly, like, yes, we're going to release these meal plans. And so if you don't want to go through the effort, we will have them. I love them. Love the recipes on them. They're going to be awesome. And we will add that to the description box of this episode when it goes up so that you have it. But if you want to make them yourself, I write down every single ingredient. We do 5 I plan 5 dinners. Our 5 like dinners or 5 recipes that I plan on the grocery list is what lasts us for 2 weeks because we make more than we need when we eat that for lunch, and then our breakfasts are pretty minimal. Right now I'm in my overnight oats era. So like we have oats, we have cinnamon, I've been adding a little bit of protein powder, and we have almond milk. Like, if we run out of one of those things, we'll put it on the grocery list, but that's all we really need for breakfast. Um, and then we are eating leftovers for lunches. So doing 5 recipes that we make larger portions of, that's how that lasts us for the 2 weeks. 5 recipes. I pick the 5 recipes and then I put every single ingredient that I need onto the grocery list. Doesn't matter if I know we have it in my mind, because chances are, like, what if, like, I might make a mistake? So I write down everything, and then before I go to the grocery store, I shop the kitchen. I go through every single one of those ingredients and I actually check, like, physically see it to make sure we have it, because too many times I think we have, more milk than we do. I think we have more eggs than we do, whatever. I am like going through and shopping the house. Now, the second way that people had said to do this was actually shopping the house before you even make your meal plan, and you make your meal plan around the things that you need to get rid of. I think that's super, super smart. I'll do that in like a less efficient way. It's just more like on the top of my mind. If I know we have a ton of green beans, or if I know we have extra X, Y, and Z, then I'll like have it in my head, but I'm not going around and actually strategically looking at ingredients and then coming up with something. I sort of do that at the end, like have if we've gone through all of our meals, we've gone through our 2 weeks, but we're still kind of extending food. I've gotten really good at making recipes out of quote like nothing. Something I take a lot of pride in, and so I'll, go around and be making something with the things that we already have. It's a kind of a fun hobby. So I do that on the back end, but I do think it's very smart if you are somebody who wants to do that before you actually make your meal plan. Okay, next. And this goes into when you're making your meal plan, but just as a general rule of shopping, of grocery shopping, shop the perimeter. Um, we most of our groceries are on the outside of the perimeter of the grocery store. What that means is the produce section, the meat section, or the dairy section. And you could include like that last frozen aisle, I think, in there if you want to, frozen vegetables, etc. Um, but there are times when I am shopping and I do not go into the middle aisles, and that's because it's all packaged goods. So that's your crackers, that's your cereals, that's your um a lot of times we don't buy bread most of the time. We just don't use it. So your breads, that is like canned foods. A lot, we buy canned foods, but the pre-packaged goods are, again, similarly to the vegetables. Like if it comes in a package, it's going to cost more for that package. And so that tends to be a point of like a higher price, especially when you're going into the snack aisles, like the chips, the crackers, and like, gummies, and like all these type of things are part of, a regular part of some people's grocery list. And I think that's totally fine, but understand that that is a huge place for your budget to go up. Produce tends to be pretty cheap. Of course, meat's going to vary, dairy is going to vary, but a lot of our stuff ends up being produce because, again, it's centered around the ingredients of these recipes. Most of the ingredients of these recipes, when you're shopping, like when you're doing ingredient focused shopping and it's focused around meals rather than what I would say would be like snacks or like things like that. Again, this isn't shaming anybody for like having snacks. It's definitely something that, like, I know a lot of households, like, different people eat different ways, and some people are much more into snacking, or they have little bits throughout the day rather than like large meals. And I think that's totally fine. But when you're doing like meal planning and you're have meals that are or meal plans that are ingredient focused based on these, how many times am I going to say meals? You know what I mean? Like these dinners, a lot of it is produce, and that's going to cost a lot less than like the pack of crackers. I cannot believe how much they're charging for a pack of crackers these days. It's insane. People ask what we do for snacks. we aren't really snacking people. We do have, of course, Joseph, my husband, if those of you who don't know, has type 1 diabetes. And so we have certain like staples that we'll buy in bulk at BJ's or something, or if you have a Costco or Sam's Club or whatever. And that is, we keep applesauce, we keep fruit snacks, and juice boxes. And those are kind of our three staples that we have a section for. And so he'll get that when he's going low. But otherwise, like, we don't buy chips, we're not buying crackers, we're not buying like these little things just to grab and go. We don't have a lot of grab and go items. So if you buy those, totally fine. But recognize, I don't know why, they hike the prices of those up. So if you're shopping the perimeter of the store, you're going to have a little bit of a cheaper bill. Next, canned foods are always generic. I don't see any reason why a canned food should be a brand name. I just don't think that is necessary literally at all. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And I also, dairy, always generic. I always buy generic dairy. Again, some people have their sour cream thing. Canned foods and dairy, I just don't see the need. So those are mine. I feel like we went through the 8 and then I kind of added some in there, but here are 2 that came from the comment section of the TikTok I made that I thought was actually helpful. And first of all, this one, we talked about this a little bit, buy in bulk and freeze. I don't think this is actually a bad thing if you're doing things like strategically. So I try and avoid excess living. Anything in excess, I try to avoid just being gluttonous. And so the idea of having an extra freezer, at first I was like, oh my God, I'm literally not doing that. Like, I literally can't. I'm not doing that. However, once I got off my high horse, it for meat in particular, you can buy meat in bulk for so much cheaper. And how well that freezes, it almost, like, it makes more sense for me, like, to buy, freaking 50 pounds. Maybe 50 pounds is like, maybe that's getting a little crazy. Let's go like 20 pounds or something. But, like a huge amount of chicken, and freeze that, and you're not having to go buy chicken for months. Like, that totally makes sense to me. I was actually having a conversation. This is going to get kind of weird. But it's a podcast, guys, so it's okay. I was having a conversation with somebody about like people who hunt. I didn't grow up in a family who hunts. I think it's totally fine. Of course, I live in the South. So I'm used to, families who go out and hunt, but I didn't know what went behind, like, when you hunt a deer, get it processed. And this is this is such a weird conversation. But what they were telling me is, like, so you get a deer, like, you hunt, you get a deer for your family, you get it processed, but getting processed is like, I don't know, $60 or something. And that deer will give you pounds and pounds and pounds of meat. And so she was like, you're feeding your family for months on end. You have a big freezer, you have all this meat, and you just cook like anything that you would use beef in, essentially, you can use venison. And I don't know, it just kind of clicked in my we're not hunting, we're not going hunting. But it just kind of clicked in my head. I was like, I totally understand. I understand now. I don't know what I thought they were doing, but like, I get it, And so I do think that it could be something that we may look into, is getting like a larger freezer. I was on a plane with this guy who worked for the food bank, and he said that around Charleston somewhere is a like restaurant level kind of like grocery store where you can buy like 20 pounds of chicken. And so I might look into that, and that might be the move, buying in bulk and freezing. And then this is something that I did not know. I had a couple of grocery store employees comment. This is not verified, like, I haven't gone and tested it, but I had enough people on my comments say it, so I feel pretty good about it. If things are like buy one get one free, or not buy one get one free, like the 2 for $5, we'll do the 2 for $5, then you only buy one, you will still get that item for $2.50. You know what I mean? Like, whatever half that price is, they will, like, you'll still get the one item for the price, even if you aren't buying two. Does that make any sense? Which I didn't realize. Like, I didn't realize that. So again, another reason if you see something for 2 for 5 and you only need 1, you're still gonna save money because 'cause you're still getting the deal when you're buying the 1. So I thought that was really interesting. I feel like this has been a very long-winded conversation about groceries, but this is honestly like this is such a huge point of like pain point for so many people, especially in this economy. So we're gonna say all that. It's insane like how expensive groceries are getting. So if this can help you just a little bit, I know I've had friends who have texted me and said, "Hey, like I did your tip and we saved a bunch of money this week." Like that makes me so happy. If this saves you any money on your monthly grocery bill, I think that's huge. That's money that you can be using on something else. I'm a big proponent on like there are things I want to spend my money on and there are things that I don't want to spend my money on. Food is not something I wanna spend my money on. It's just not. Like, I'm not there are some people out there, and I so admire you, that will, like, go and buy, like, these fancy mushrooms. They wanna buy this truffle or whatever, and I'm like, "That's so freaking great for you." I this is just not what I wanna spend my money on. I've have and guys, if you wanna get personal for a second, do you know where my food obsession, like, came from? It started when I went to college. It was the first time that I had to buy food for myself, and really I didn't. I was on a meal plan, but I was so obsessive about the like I was really weird about buying things that were disposable. It's why I didn't at the time like really go through drive-throughs. I didn't get takeout. I didn't um I just didn't do any of that. I still, I'm kind of hesitant about that a little bit, but I definitely like we'll get Chick-fil-A every once in a while. And but I was so weird because I was like, why would I spend money on something that's going to be gone and I'm going to have to get more of, which is a terrible mindset to have. It's literally food survival. But I knew it was at a point, so I was on a meal plan, right? But the school that I went to we were very, very small, so we had set meal hours. If you did not get to lunch between 11:30 and 1:30, you did not have lunch. And then the cafeteria opened at 5 and it was open till 6:30, I think. If you didn't get there, you didn't have dinner. And there were some nights that I went and worked at the mall. I was at the beauty counters at the mall, and if I missed the meal hours, which of course I did, it's 5 to 6:30. Of course I was working. I didn't eat. I would not eat because I was like, "You should not waste money on food. You had the opportunity to eat," which no, I didn't. You had the opportunity to eat and you have a meal plan that is paid for and you just wasted that meal time. So I was like, "I'll have sleep for dinner." So unhealthy. What a awful, awful mindset to have. I can laugh about it now, but like what the heck? So I just had this like weird obsession with like I would not buy things that were disposable and with a meal plan, if I wasn't utilizing my meal plan, like then that was my own fault. I already had the resource given to me. But this has bled into my groceries. And then when I left college and I did have to buy groceries regularly, then that's when the game began of how low can I get these groceries to go. Um Now I enjoy it a lot more, much healthier mindset. I really like cooking, and so that's why I was vegetarian, when I lived by myself. I was vegetarian, because it was so cheap. Again, just, Sarah, get a grip. But, I enjoy cooking a lot more. I enjoy the whole process a lot more now, but that's where that all came from. That's where the obsession came from. I hope that you are in a much healthier mindset than I am. And I also hope that this saves you a little bit of money this week so you can go spend your money on something else. Oh my God, wait, before we go, I have to tell you. So, the most liked comment on this video, okay, is this person. I think it was a girl, I'm not really sure. And um, she said, I only spend $50 a month on my groceries, and that is because I spend $200 a month on DoorDash." Which I thought was hysterical. I loved that comment, and it's like some like 2,000 people also liked that comment. That was so funny. I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that this episode was helpful. If it was, please go to our Instagram and let us know. Let us know if you want more episodes like this. I would love to hear if you are into these more practical, like listicle type episodes, if you like the guest episodes, if you like the episodes where we are just chit chatting and shooting the shit and I bring a friend on and we talk about freaking nothing. I want to hear from you. So let me know. I hope you guys have a fabulous week wherever you are. Do something fun today. Do something that makes you happy. Do something that makes you smile. Make it a great day. I love you guys so very much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.